Good morning, Pastor Chris Wickland here. This morning, as I was praying in my prayer room, I just felt God was saying, I just need to say something and I just want you to record it. So I recorded it, and this will be what will be played in a minute. Today is the 6th of August, 2025. I don't like to put out a lot of this stuff personally, because some of it's quite dark and I don't really enjoy putting this kind of stuff out, and I don't do it for notoriety or anything. But as I was praying, I just felt God, because normally he gives me stuff that's for me or what's going on, and I generally don't record it. But I felt today him saying, record this to put out to the general public. So this is what I believe God was saying this morning as he was kind of just chatting with me. And so here it is for you to weigh, pray, and test. O people of Britain, it's worse than you can ever imagine. You're waking up to a world where freedom of speech, even freedom of thought, is being slowly eroded, chipped away, bit by bit by bit, day by day, line on line, precept on precept. You are asleep at the wheel. You do not know what is going on around you right now. You cannot see how far in this has gone. This is not just something that is coming to light now. This is something that has been meticulously planned. You need to wake up to the fact that the world that you think you're living in is no longer the world that you are living in. You're living in a very dark country, in a very dark world, with very dark and sinister powers. And my church is completely asleep and oblivious to this. And so I tell you, what's coming now will be two types of church, and it will create a schism and a division. Because this is the time when people must choose which stand they will side with. The days of a state church are now coming. Now, although this won't necessarily be something formal, it will definitely be something informal. A state church is a church that will not speak up against the narrative and the unjust behavior that is going on in this nation. Any church that refuses to speak out and to call time on the things of evil in this nation, you need to understand you are a state church. You are not a kingdom church. You have muted and gagged yourselves according to fear and according to what the government would have you say. You have gagged yourselves and limited yourselves, and you'll gladly conform to this, thinking that you are doing the right thing. But what you're doing is evil and it is profane. And there'll be the other church. These are the 5 wise virgins. They see the world as it is. Even if they can't see it as it is, they still speak against the things that they do understand and that they can comprehend, which the other church, the state church, will refuse to acknowledge and to speak out against. This nation is becoming divided evermore day by day. And in part this is deliberate. Light is being divided from the dark, and the dark from the light, as day is divided from night. And the same is happening in my church. Ichabod, Ichabod, the glory has left the temple. Let me tell you something that may shock you to your core, is that there are many churches that are worshipping me, praising me, adoring me, even enjoying me, but I have left the temple. I'm no longer with them. My spirit has left, and they are not even aware that I have left. The days in which you are now finding yourselves in are going to get steadily darker and darker and darker. And I wish that I didn't have to say these things. I wish that I didn't have these words to tell you. For many of you are already aware of what's going on, and you're already carrying enough burden as you see the injustice and the depravity that has come upon this once great nation. But children of God, you need to be praying. You need to be praying, and you need to be preaching the truth. You need to be speaking the truth, and you need to resist the lies. You need to be building my kingdom and building my church, and build it in whatever way will allow you to build it. If you have to go underground, you go underground. If you do small churches, you do small churches. You do large churches, you do large churches. Whatever you do it for me and for my kingdom and my glory. But do not bow down to the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. Do not bow down to the statue of the government of this nation. You are under the headship of Christ, not the headship of human government. You are under the headship of Christ. Many listening to this will balk at such things. You behave yourselves as Christians under the rule of the law until the rule of the law starts moving away from the precepts of Scripture and starts moving in governance into areas of sovereignty that only belong to me. That is a government you do not obey. But many in Christendom will simply not do that. Many people will simply bow the knee to Baal and simply bow the knee to Nebuchadnezzar's statue, because it's easier to do that and live another day and see another day than to allow persecution, prosecution, lawfare to be rallied against you. Now, my people, be circumspect, be wise, be as gentle as doves, but as cunning as serpents. These days that you are living in require great wisdom, and great darkness is coming on this land, indeed has now come upon this land. The problem is that you haven't seen how dark it is yet. Some of you are awake, and some of you are waking up. But you need to know these days are darker than you could ever even begin to imagine. I'm calling my people to remain strong in me, to gird up your minds for action, and be prepared to lay down your lives for me. For some it will be literally, and for others it will be the laying down of your dreams and your aspirations to follow me. This is the day when every saint counts. This is the day when the true saints of God will need to stand and arise. And this is the day when many will choose which side they stand for. Sadly, many will fall to the lies and the deceptions of the world and justify it with Scripture. But there will be a remnant that will grow and grow and grow. That will be those that stand up for truth and justice. A spiritual war has been declared, and a spiritual war is now transpiring across this nation. Oh, my church, my beautiful church, you break my heart with your wicked ways. Many of you will now choose which side you stand on. And some of you that would be looked upon as good and wholesome churches, I see your light dimming, as in fear you embrace the darkness, rather than being the light and being persecuted and prosecuted for being the light. Church that is awake to the time in which you're in, be wise, be circumspect, but stand up for truth. Build my church and build my kingdom. advance my kingdom, preach my gospel, and resist the darkness, resist the lies, plant churches, share the gospel, spread the message, and let truth prevail over this nation.